Let's face it, most of us know about this story because of Will Smith, so thank you, Mr. Smith. But did you know that there have been at least three adaptations of this story as early even as the early 60s? Now you know. I Am Legend is a book that was written in 1954 by Richard Matheson. And if you don't know the story, it is about the last man on Earth and vampire zombies. It's, I don't know, something like 6 or 9 months, maybe even 10 months after something catastrophic happened. And our main character, Robert Neville, doesn't know what caused this outbreak. In fact, a lot of the book is him trying to discover what is it, a virus, is it bacteria, is it from the war, something that was used and got out of hand. What was it? What is the problem? But every person has been systematically turned into these vampire zombies. That's the best description. They're not just vampires, they're not just zombies, there's some kind of combination of both. And now our main character Robert is trying to survive in this really in this post-apocalyptic world where he is the last man standing. So let's just start here. I liked this book. I liked it a lot. It's a short book. I wouldn't call it a short story, just a short book. You can read it in just a couple of sittings, and it's fairly straightforward. It's not completely linear in the sense of there are flashbacks to before the outbreak that help you fill in and color the character of Robert just a little bit better. But Matheson does something here that is quite difficult. You, as an author, typically want to give your main character at least someone else to work with and to bounce ideas off of and to have conversation with. That's what makes up a lot of the books that we know and love. However, in this one, the author very intentionally strips away all of that for the most part so that you're just stuck with one character and his thoughts, his inner dialogue, his inner monologue, if you would. And he's trying to survive during the day. He goes out into the world because most of the vampire zombies are hidden away during that time, and he hunts and he scavenges during that time. And then he comes back to his house, barricades himself up at night as the vampire zombies come out. Now, one of the things that I really liked about this book is that these vampire zombies are sentient. They're not complete zombies in the sense of brainless, mindless, shambling around and have no clue what they're doing. They just want to eat brains. They have some kind of understanding of what's going on in the world around them and who they are. That's super cool in the story because as Robert Neville is inside barricaded in his house at night, who were his previous neighbors and people that he worked with come around his house and try to entice him to come outside, calling him by name. They're verbal, calling him by name and enticing him in other ways, grotesque ways, to try to get him to come out of the house because they want, to eat him, to infect him for whatever reason. Now, some of that is disturbing and uncomfortable. In fact, multiple times, Matheson, the author, talks about Robert's urges to want to sexual urges to because he hasn't had sex for 9 months or 10 months, and that the women vampire zombies on the outside are enticing him and stuff like that. Kind of mentions that a few times, which is uncomfortable because how lonely do you have to be like vampire zombie women? Let's try it. Anyways, this novel doesn't do anything too terribly new for about 75% of the book, and then it does. And when it does, it's very cool. I really liked going along for the ride. I just read it in, I think, really just 2 days, which is the key way to read this, in my opinion. But all along the way, Matheson is building up this eerie tension that is so thrilling and so unsettling. You feel like you are Robert, the last man, and trying to make decisions that he would make and being uncomfortable when he makes decisions that you wouldn't make. And the characters, as few as they are interesting and real enough. But the real winner here in the novel is the feeling that you get when you conclude the story. When you're done reading this short tale, you feel uncomfortable, you feel claustrophobic, you feel empty and hopeless. That's exactly what the author wanted you to feel. Any book that gets you to feel certain types of way accomplishes what the author intends to set out. Not only is a good story being told here with an interesting character, a few interesting characters, and a few plot happenings that are exciting and thrilling, but the feelings that remain with you afterwards, whether you're reading a book that is about hope or reading a book that is ultimately about trust or companionship or whatever. Also, on the other side of the spectrum, it's good when you've got these deep, dark, pit in your chest, stomach type feelings as well. I really wanted to read a book like this during this season. If you're watching this video at a later time, we are here in May of 2020 and we're still in coronavirus. All of that COVID stuff is going on. People are locked up in their houses. We don't know when we're going to be able to get out of this thing. And I wanted to read something that was somewhat bleak, and I found it in this story. If you're looking for a quick read that is kind of hopeless, but is good at telling a story like that, I Am Legend might be the book for you. Did you read I Am Legend? Do you want to read I Am Legend? Let me know in the comments down below. And also, if there's other books that you know that are kind of bleak, that are kind of hopeless, that are kind of dark, that will make me realize that our world is not that bad, will you please include them in the comments down below? I'm looking for more of those. I'd like to do a couple of those each month while we're in this kind of season, because it's good for me. And as always, thank you for watching this video, for clicking like, and if you haven't yet, click subscribe so that you join the Dragon Army, and we'll see you in the next video.